I got plenty of. A scandalized gasp escaped Velma, turning the tables right back in my favor. Way number 1. Always be in control. In life, with people, and most of all, when it comes to love. Once you fall in love, you surrender control, and safety is most definitely not guaranteed. And that's how it's done. I tipped back my drink. This might not be the strongest, but it is super yummy. I think I'll go grab another. You want me to get you one? Velma lifted the drink in her hand. Thank you, but I'm still working on my first. I ignored the implication that one drink was plenty and headed to the punch bowl for a refill. My skeptical side expected this party to be difficult to get through. Not because I was sad that Savannah was getting married, because, again, super happy, totally responsible for their meeting and giving her a push when she'd needed it a few months ago, but because I knew things would change. Savannah was already so busy with her successful program, and Link's sports reporting career was taking off, and everyone was moving on, and I was still tending bar. I'd always meant for it to be a temporary gig, but I made a killing in tips, and every time I went to apply for another job, I thought of the steady hours and sitting at a desk, and then it felt like my skin was getting too tight. I didn't want to be predictable, didn't want to be boring, but I didn't want to be stuck either, and for the past few months I'd been in a rut. No thinking about that. I'm in control and rocking this party. Only when I turned away from the table, I accidentally caught sight of Jackson. Jackson, brother of the bride-to-be, guy who drove me crazy, both in the irritated and turned-on way, and, well, there might have been an incident where I'd slipped and had a one-week stand with him. No, incident wasn't strong enough. I'd broken girl code, crossed lines with my bestie's brother, and momentarily let myself forget that sex would only complicate already complicated things. My sense of control had spiraled out of my grasp then, and as Jackson leveled his green-eyed gaze on me now, my grip slipped the tiniest bit. A shiver that I forced myself to cover traveled down my spine, and my sleeveless navy cocktail dress did little to conceal the goosebumps covering my arms. At least I knew the dark lace contrasted nicely with my pale blonde hair, and my smoky eye was on point tonight. If a simple look was going to give me goosebumps, I needed the rest of me to be on its game. It'd be so much easier to share the same space if I didn't remember what his lips felt like against mine, that mix of soft and scruff from his whiskers. If I didn't remember those big hands, calloused from his contractor work, dragging across my skin. Being in his arms. I wasn't usually a girl who hung around. I left as fast as humanly possible, or politely showed my gentleman caller to the door so I could be in charge of the leaving instead of waiting around for it to happen. Jackson was the only guy I'd let hold me afterward, and it killed me that I'd been so vulnerable in front of him, because it made me feel vulnerable in front of him all the freaking time. Even more devastating, I hated how much I'd liked it there, and occasionally longed to be there again. Like when I lost my mind for a couple of seconds, or before he went and opened his mouth. Speaking of usually, I usually held back the memories better. My nights with Jackson were shoved away to the far corners of my mind. Unfortunately, they kept bobbing up, unbidden, to torture me. What I needed to do was remind myself of how ugly things turned afterward. I lifted my chin, readying myself for a cool conversation peppered with verbal jabs, and he crossed the arms I'd just been reliving having around me, those damn muscles he got from all that manual labor popping out to taunt me. He had this stupidly perfect hair, too, nice and thick and longer on top, brown with a hint of copper that you only could see in the sun. It was styled as if he'd simply raked his fingers through it and let it do whatever.